Is it who runs Out of Bounds Comedy? Yeah, I had to cancel a gig.
Fuck, that's why I fuck with. I realized that's why I fuck with Top Secret.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, I can't make it 2 hours before. They'll be like, don't worry. We'll keep it moving. Everything is fine.
I cancelled a gig.
Like 99, man.
I had to cancel a gig because I went to him. Hey mate, sorry, but next week I'm going to New York to do gigs out there. And I don't want to do. I can't do a gig in Watford. Sorry. And he was like, thanks for that. All right. Sorry, I'd rather perform on fucking Broadway than in some village hut in Watford. Like,
We'll talk about AJ a bit as well.
I mean, I get how it is in London. It shouldn't be a big deal because you can get comics.
yeah.
But if you're in the butt fuck of nowhere, and it's kind of like, there's a big sort of like trek to get there. It's like it's hard to get someone last minute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last minute, like a week.
I get a week's
fine.
notice. So you can fucking just stick it on the Facebook comedy forum, and someone will.
They'll lap it up.
Yeah, you'll get someone. Have we started?
I'm recording, but I'm just want to get the sound.
Cool.
One time we're gonna say something so madly incriminating, because with this soft record.
What? And then we.
Well,
start.
I can stop and start again. If
I
you want.
quite like this bit being in. I feel like it's like when a rapper's talking on a track, like talking in the booth.
Now we'll start officially because I don't know how much we've said.
No rappers.
And Loyiso hasn't spoken
It's
for
a
6
3-minute
minutes.
song, man. It's like they know what they're putting in the booth.
Should we manufacture it then?
Do you want to wear headphones?
Everything is in entertainment is manufactured. Everything.
Nah.
Podcasts are highly anomalous in the sense that, if you really want to get into it, the reason you're banning, what's this dude's name? Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Is because you created a situation people can just jump on and say what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that becomes problematic, but everything that's within the realms of it, the Oscars, it's contained, it's written. I just wrote a roast for Comedy Central back home. It was a 3-hour show. It was the most amount of work I've done in comedy ever.
Really?
It's a lot of work, close to like 300 jokes. Do you understand what I mean? 10 people, 10 jokes, 18 jokes, even more, like way more.
Roast battles are hard to write for as well.
So I wrote the whole thing and I was a head writer for it. And then at the end of it, I was like, I'm proud of my team. And I tweeted that. Man, people came for me. Fuck you ruined the thing. I didn't know the thing was written. I was like,
What? Oh, people still think you just go up there and
I was like,
10...
nah, this shit is contained, it's written, there's a story. Because when you write things, you have an opportunity to create a story as well.
So people enjoyed it, but then they were like, because you ruined the magic.
Yeah, I ruined the magic. But I mean, many magics have been ruined, and people at some point just kind of get used to the idea. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Do you want to wear the headphones, or if not, just
Should we,
just take
let's
them-
keep all
I
this
don't
in.
wanna
This
wear
is
the
interesting.
take them off the mic if that'd be cool.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha, cool.
Yeah, I don't.
Thank you.
We'll keep this in. This is
Yeah,
interesting.
cool.
I
starting
mean,
the pod.
think about
Love this
think about
happening.
think about like how much information we have now, whether it pertains to football and all that kind of stuff. Well,
Yeah.
Before we just watched, I mean, I don't know.
It's ruined the game, man. The
yeah.
stats, man.
reckon?
The game.
Of course, no. I mean, what does ruin mean?
Not ruined, just being able to chat shit about football online.
Yeah, but that's the
If somebody
idea.
hits you.
That's the idea. It stops you from chatting shit. That's
What football is watching is for. I don't want to hear about the presses in the final third when I'm just trying to say somebody is shit.
Expected goals.
Yeah, man. What is
That's a
that?
fucking load of shit. All right.
So you guys are like, I am not interested in factual accuracy.
What happened to the eye
no.
test?
Well, I
What
mean,
happened to the eye
that's what
test?
the
No,
What do
because
you mean?
football's like got this thing where basically there's people who go to loads of games and watch football, and like you can't. Football, the statistics don't tell the whole story. So you might go, this person who's a striker hasn't scored any goals this season, they're useless. But if you watch the games, you might see, well, actually they're holding up the ball and they're playing it on for the wingers to go through
People
and
are
score
saying
goals.
Vardy is better than Drogba because they're looking at the stats.
Yeah.
What's going on?
No, that's not what, guys. That's not. I don't think that's what we're discussing. There are actual stats that make a person an official person,
Yeah.
right?
Stats.
The stats you're talking about are highly anomalous. Like they'll be like tackles won, those completed passes. Those stats are valid when you're judging a midfielder or whatever the case may be. But there's some stats where it's like, I saw a stat recently. I was like, man, fuck the stat. No one gives a fuck. Like, what do they? I'm trying to think of the stat. It was so random. I was like, that doesn't make him shit. You know what I mean? And I totally understand what you're saying, but I think for the most part, stats allow us to articulate what's going on in the field.
Ben Shapiro said,
it's data.
Facts don't lie. Facts don't care about your
It's data.
feelings.
I like it. I mean, I don't think it's ruining the game at all. I think it allows us to.
I don't think it's ruining the game, but I think what they're saying is it's ruining the fun of arguing like a toddler online. Because
Yeah, but who the fuck wants to argue with a toddler online?
That's life.
hold on. That's my favourite thing.
My thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you know what I mean?
But that's how you feel the meaningless of life. You go and you say, this player is shit, this player is da-da-da-da.
Nah, but the thing that's crazy to me, I've played with pro players. They like.
I thought you were Carney for a long time. So,
Yo, bro, I'll tell you, every time I go to the Emirates, it's the worst thing ever, bro. People stop me, they're like, yo, Kanu, can I have a picture? What the fuck are you talking about? Yo, I flip out.
Do you take the photos with him?
No, I just
You
tell
can't
them I'm not
flip out,
Kanu.
bro.
I don't flip out, but in my mind, I'm losing it. I'm like, yo, man, because the stadium is a very chaotic space, and you just want to.
does
get
that
to where
even
you're
really
going.
count as racism? Is it? Or it's just like, it's a misunderstanding.
Well, first of all, you guys consider racism a very different thing, and I'm from a different place in my life. I mean, I'm from a different country.
the threshold for racism is.
The thing about racism is because it's a construct. The idea that it works differently in different places. So, like my brother's he directs commercials, and sometimes it's in them. Sometimes he worked his way into, but at some point he had like this commercial, and so the commercial is crazy. It's about these astronauts who are black.
Why did I laugh at that? That is, you see, that's.
And so there's a commercial, these astronauts are black, and they in the moon, and they're like, yo, what's the one thing we need? And they're like, fuck, we need this chicken. But no.
Let him finish.
No. Hold on. But you must remember, they need this chicken. So my brother's the guy who delivers the chicken. They open the thing, my brother's eating the chicken.
That's funny.
It's a funny thing.
That's a
But you
funny
must
thing.
remember, no. But you must remember, that's the idea that black people like chicken is an American idea. It's not an African idea. We're like,
yeah, everyone loves chicken. It's great.
it's not like,
Yeah.
And the only reason that idea exists is because America dominates pop culture. It's not a real fucking thing.
Right.
For instance, if you think of like Jamaicans and Nigerians, they love goat way more than chicken.
True. It's true.
So when you think about it, you're like, you can't inherit people's cultural references so that's what I mean. Racism is relative to where the fuck you're from.
Yeah.
I felt that like in this country, like that thing that I guess you do take everything from pop culture. Because when I went on the Black Lives Matter march, to say I went on a march, did my bit, took my sign.
I think that's the seventh
And,
mention. in
yeah,
27
every
pods.
week.
I don't go to no march.
You don't have to because I'm there.
40, bro.
I'm doing the bit for everyone.
I don't march.
Go on Zoom? No, bro.
Huh?
Go on Zoom.
Not even on Zoom. I'm turning 40 in like 8 months. I don't fucking want to put my body.
You've given up on the fight.
I'm there with you in solidarity, but my 40-year-old ass.
I'll be there by VR. Fuck it.
I downloaded a mod so the players on FIFA take the knee.
like if I'm dating someone, I'd rather be hanging out with that person than marching for any cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, word life.
Yeah. Did you march in the younger years?
Huh?
Did you march in your younger years?
Nah.
Nah.
But
I don't know. I'm just lazy.
Yeah, but on the march, there was like a bit where people were saying to the police, hands up, don't shoot, or something like that, like where we were saying, and I was like, but the British police don't have guns. Like, they don't, it's not, we've taken this completely, of course.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I mean, causes
A
sort
taser
of like.
could reach.
Huh?
You gotta be 6 foot for a taser. You know? If they were in 6 feet,
I
the
don't know,
taser could reach, man.
I have a very good relationship with the police. Thank you.
Yeah. I've only ever asked them for directions, and they've been very helpful.
we had the police officer on the podcast, Dom,
we
who
did,
was asking, we wants to come back on actually, and he, he's an armed police officer.
Armed.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, okay.
He's
So him, don't shoot that, yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, we were talking to him about, like, what's it like being like a black police officer when you've got white people going to Black Lives Matter march shouting all cops are bastards. What, him, the black guy who's a police officer, but you're you know,
Bro, life
means
is,
all.
life is always going to be complicated.
Yeah, man. There's too many factors. By the way, we haven't actually introduced our guests, man.
Yeah,
this is B-Tech Philosophers. If you haven't listened before, this is me, Michael Odewale, co-host Elliot Stills, been missing for a couple weeks, and we
What
have.
happened? Where were you?
you're going to want to strap the fuck in.
That's what you should have done. Loyiso Gola is our guest this week. International comedian.
Those are very kind words. Thank you.
You have been around the world, though.
I have. I mean, yeah.
I've been like
Those are-
5
it's
places.
Still, it's still kind words.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. But how does it feel being international? Was that when you first started doing comedy? Was it like, I want to travel world and shit? Was that like always?
When I first started doing stand-up, I wanted to convince my mom it was a career. She wasn't too hard to convince. She was on board because I started stand-up when I was 17, and she was pretty much on board. But
She know you were funny?
my mom don't think I'm funny. I mean, I do make my mom laugh on occasion, but I don't think she thinks I'm generally funny.
Yeah, my mom don't see it at all, man. Like, she don't see it at all. Is your mom think you're funny?
Oh, we don't really talk. Yeah, my mum.
give a polite answer.
No, do you know what? Do you know what? My mum doesn't. Like, my mum has the. You'll see on this part. I sort of like. I'm one of those people like pretend edgelord, say outlandish things every now and then. All that. I find like shocking things funny, and I like my mum is one person who thinks she has a dark sense of humour. She's one of those people who's like, oh, I don't get offended at anything, but is the most like, if I said the word cunt in front of my mum, she'd be like, what, you can't say that. You know what I mean?
Yo, bro, anybody who says cunt in front of your mom, of their mom, is a problem.
Yeah. But some families are, like, I know
No.
people.
No, we're laying the law down.
Don't say cunt in
Cunt
front
is
of
like
your mom.
racism. It's kind of different in different parts of the world. It means a different thing. It's like,
I
certain
would
people
never
growing up.
say cunt in front
What
of my mom.
context are you saying cunt?
I'm calling her a cunt.
That's crazy. Still say cunt in front of his mom. That's why, bro, you wildin'.
Like Scottish
was
people, Australian
bleeding.
English with like cunt, you can say, if you're not calling your mum a cunt, but if you were like, I don't know, like cunt, like in my
As a
house.
descriptive of someone.
It's not. It's,
like, this cunt was doing this, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, it's not. It's weird. It's
I cuss a lot.
yeah.
I cuss in front of my mom sometimes. I would never say cunt.
Cunt is a bit.
Cunts.
Yeah, cunt. I say cunt loosely as well
Yeah.
in many contexts, but I would never say cunt in front of my mom.
One
My mom
time-
has come to my shows and I've cussed a lot, and she said, "Oh, you cuss a lot," but I would never say cunt.
Right. Would you take the
Which
word
is
cunt
crazy.
out
I've
of
never
your show?
thought of it. It's just,
Would you take the word cunt out of your show if you knew your mum was there?
nah, I wouldn't take it out, but I wouldn't.
You can't
in
address it
context.
in her.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say like, yeah, that cunty ass. I would just be like, whoa.
I tried to soft trial calling my mum by her first name.
What?
I can't even do that. Yeah.
I'm 27. I'm gonna be like,
What's your mum's name?
Esther. I'm like,
So you're like Esther.
hold it for a minute.
How did it go down?
Well, swung for me. Man. My mum got hands, man. My mum got hands.
I don't even think I've ever called my mom by her first name, except in the context of what's your mom's first name.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird. I've drank in front of my mom since my 20s.
Drank. I remember when my mum found out I was smoking weed, and she was like, I was like 15, and she tried to be cool about it, but she was like,
Yeah, your mom is also dropping the ball. When you find out when you find
Elliot's
out
a
your
problem
15
child.
when you find out your 15-year-old is smoking a blunt, don't try to be cool about it.
yeah. she tried to be like, cool, you can do it in the back of like the garden and
Goodness
stuff.
gracious.
But then
Might as well let you call her a cunt.
yeah, but I tell you what, she'll then start like coming in and trying to be like cool, like be like, oh, you got the munchies, you got, and it would just ruin it. So I just stopped smoking weed. I just stopped.
It was the same with me. My mom discovered weed in my. She was washing my clothes, and I think I was like 13 or some shit. And everything I did, bro, everything I did, like, oh, I'm hungry, and she'd be like, it's like weed, huh?
Yeah.
Like I got 2 A's in my maths exam. Say weed, huh? It just, and then I mean, I never stopped. I was just like, yeah, it's cool. It is what it is.
Yeah, I've got back into it recently, weed actually. Like, but every time I smoke it, I go, this is I used to get panic attacks because I used to smoke it loads, and then it was fucking me up, and I was like, right, I've got to put this down. And now when I smoke it, I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. Well, I'm going to have to. I can't do this every day.
In moderation, like all things.
Bro, I did so much drugs in my teens that when I left school, I didn't care for them as much.
Really?
Yeah,
Knock 'em out early, man.
Yeah, I got in like it's a highly anomalous. It's a highly anomalous experience in the sense that by the time I had 18, my friends were like, "Yo, you need to get off this shit," and it was all kinds of shit. I mean, but by the time I was like 25,
I bet there's some really cool South African drugs that are like fuck up.
there was a real bad drug called Mandrax.
Oh shit! So even that.
That sounds Mandrax.
Yeah,
Sounds like
it was weird. I mean,
that's a
like-
Dragon Ball Z character.
You sounds like a washing up lick.
Oh, it was bad. It was like pandemic. It was like crystal meth pandemic levels.
What?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Here's the crazy thing: when I was
Is that the one where people eat people, or was that bar stock?
Nah,
That's
nah,
bar
nah,
stock,
nah. It just turns you.
That's
into
just
like,
Florida.
the regular drug shit, like unreliable. You're stealing shit. But I had friends who were on it. I've tried it once, and
How do you partake in Mandrax?
you mix it in weed.
Oh, shit.
And
so
it's
it's
like
like
a tablet.
spice.
It's like a tablet, and you crush it, and you just have this tablet, and you kind of. But the most common way we did it was in this. It was bad. I had a friend who stole. He stole the VCR and the TV at school. Because his habit was so bad.
You can't say one without the other, to be fair. Yeah, really, like,
How big was the TV back in the, like when is this?
That's
Is
the
this
one
like-
with the big backs.
Yeah,
The-
yeah,
the TVs with the BBLs. Like-
How do you sneak that out?
Bruh, you make a plan. You fucking.
That's like a series of prison breaks to just get to that highest.
So I read up on the drug. I read an article in the Source. I think it was Source magazine.
I remember the source.
It's apparently Quaaludes.
Huh?
Apparently it's Quaaludes.
I have no idea what Quaalude is, but
Like the
as
Wolf
you research it, it's all interesting to me. But so the drug was you mix it in weed or whatever, and I read about I was reading the Source, and there was this author called Gary Wolf. I could never forget his name because he wrote a book called Secret Alliance, which I found. And in the book, it talks about how the CIA was providing, because no one knew where the fuck this drug was coming from.
It's always the CIA.
And it was the CIA. And the dude died. He died. Oh, shit. He died in his apartment. He got shot 7 times. It was declared as
Suicide.
Yeah. Did you?
No, I
Just
can.
Google him, Gary Wolf.
Yeah. His band was 7,
Yeah, he
2
wrote
in the
a book.
kneecap, like 5 in the
wrote-
chest. I just got
He
self-inflicted.
wrote a book called Secret Alliance, and I remember reading it as a teenager and going, "Oh shit,
Why kill him though? The book's already out, man. No, like, it's a bit much.
bro!" He was
All these after deaths,
He
like,
was-
he's
he was-
done it.
he was doing bad. He was doing bad things.
He had another book in the pipeline. Should have left that one.
Yeah, bro, it was a Clifford, the big red dog one. They couldn't let it
He
get
shouldn't have left on to be continued, man. He could have solved the case, man.
Yeah, I found one of my biggest regrets in my teens is that I banged out MDMA so much that I've ruined it.
That's one of your biggest regrets.
Yeah, because MDMA to me is the best
What a good life.
of the best drug. Like
Yeah.
I always go like ecstasy is
Ecstasy.
ecstasy is the best one that I've like ever done. But you can't really get addicted to it because it just takes too much out of you. It's not like you can just pop a pill and you're just too. But you go through a point where you just where me and my mates just banged it out. And I think every sort of druggy teenager went through this point. Where now when I take it, I'm just like, yeah, this is great. I wish I hadn't completely depleted my serotonin levels at a really vital age so I could enjoy this like for what it is.
Can that actually happen? You can like drain your happiness.
Yeah,
basically.
it can fuck with your. There's a rule called the 3-month rule with ecstasy where people like you should just do it once every 3 months, like at the most. Like it shouldn't be. But when you're 18,
It's once every weekend.
yeah, it's Friday and Saturday night. You go and do a load of MDMA, and then me and my mate just used to go sit in people's houses, and everyone would do it, and we'd all just sit there.
You didn't even go clubbing.
Didn't go club. Well, no, because we're like 17, you couldn't get in anywhere.
Put any music on.
Yeah, we'd listen to
I was
music.
clubbing at 15.
Yeah, but was that in South Africa? And also, were you someone who looked like at 15? Did you look older? No.
I did look older.
Oh, okay. You see, that's yeah. I didn't have that.
You look
At
like a
15,
28-year-old Carney.
at 15, I looked 15.
It's crazy. The first time I did ecstasy, it was in high school, and I didn't realize it dehydrates you. I
Yeah.
remember we were a friend, and then we pulled up at like a what do they call it, a gas station or something? Pour gas, and there's like a store there. And I remember just walking in there and just grabbing like fucking 6 Energies and just because it was the most dehydrating. Like it was crazy. And I was an athlete at the time, you know, and I was playing sports, and I'd never been that dehydrated. And I was just used to the idea of it. I was like, oh shit, it's this thing, you know.
Yeah.
I only ever done it one time. It was like a dance festival, and I just like texted everyone in my phone. I loved them. There's a guy who owed me £50. I was like, yeah, it's all right. You're cool. We're good. I just woke up so mad the next day, man.
I did that the first time I ever took it. My mates used to sell it, and I was just round theirs one day, and they were like, "Oh, do you want a bit? Like, just have a bit, innit?" I was like, "All right." I'd only ever smoked weed before, so I didn't know what to expect with drugs. I didn't know, like, it was just all weed, innit? That was all I knew. And then I went to the park with my mates, went to Palace Sports Centre, and because it takes like an hour to kick in, I'm just like, "Bruv, this stuff is shit. Like, what a pointless drug. Like, I don't feel anything." I go into Palace Sports Centre to just get a cup of tea, and my world just went, woo! Just everything was amazing. And all I was doing was standing in line to get a cup of tea, and I went home and watched Family Guy, and just rang, and like you, rang everyone in my phone book, like, like just rang everyone.
Okay, it's time to talk about it. Elliot, what happened to your balls?
Oh yeah,
I think it's time to address it. We've left it long enough as adults.
yeah. I had to get quite a major surgery on my balls.
What happened?
I got kneed in my balls.
Fair.
Yeah, I was. I trained like
Crazy.
I trained like jiu-jitsu and stuff. I was meant to be competing on the weekend, this weekend coming, at the London Open. And I went in for a session on Friday. And I do this not that because you would like probably like much higher level. I'm like a hobbyist athlete. Do you know what I mean? But I was taking it quite seriously. So I went in for my Friday morning session, and I was at the end of my tank. I knew as I was going in, like today's lesson's going to be rough because it's half an hour of sparring at the end, and I wasn't with anything. So I was like, that's all right. I've got the weekend to recover, so I'll be fine for Monday. And I go in and I'm rolling with everyone I'm rolling with. I'm not getting anything with. I'm barely surviving. I'm like, okay. So I go with this new guy. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, it's a new guy. I'll have a bit of a break in it. So I wrestle him to the ground, choke him, like show him what he's got to do to get out of the thing, get back up. And I'm like, have you wrestled before? And this kid, he's 17, but he was big. He was like a big 17-year-old. He went, yeah, I've done wrestling like out on road and all of that stuff. All people say,
On road?
yeah. He was like
They're
with my
doing it on
cousins
road
and
now?
that, like all of this stuff, yeah. So I'm cool. So I got him in a grip, pull his head down. I'm just standing there, I'm just controlling him. And he shot, he went to shoot, but he doesn't know how to shoot. So he just flying kneed me. As he's flying kneed, I've gone to sprawl, and he's just gone straight into my nuts. And the scream I made, like scream, there was no, you know, with a kick to the ball, sometimes you got that delayed. You know, when you've got that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
5 seconds of, have I got away with it?
Yeah.
Just instant fucking agony. Like I've never felt anything like it before. I'm on the mat, I start screaming. It's a martial arts gym. So everyone like looks over, it's just hitting the nuts, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just work through it, bro. So I just go, no, I'm out for the rest of the session. One of the other head coaches come in and he's like, you look really pale.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
And
fucked.
you're already quite...
I'm already like, I'm already a pale guy. But he was like, you don't look good. So I'm like, oh, I'm dehydrated. So I down like a Lucozade, one of the sports ones. I'm like, I'll be all right.
Kind of flows out of you.
Oh, bro.
Really?
So
Oh, shit.
So what happened was my bladder started like just burning, like just started to hurt. So I went and had a shower. I was like, I got to cool, like, let me have a shower, cool down. It's a hot day. And I just start throwing up. Like I'm just throwing up from the pain. So I went and lied back on the mat. I had to ring my dad to come get me. I was meant to be here that night emceeing Vauxhall. So let me go home. I'll put some ice on it. Cancelled the podcast with you. Cancelled my haircut. Anyway.
The haircut.
Bro, I had a haircut booked in.
I see you did that recently.
Bro, that hair.
Rebook that immediately. Rebook that immediately.
I need that haircut. You should have heard me ringing them and they're like, what's your excuse for cancellation? And I was like, I injured myself at the gym and I just didn't want to go into hell. So I come do Vauxhall, I have a few drinks, I go out after it. But by this point, my balls have swollen to like, my right one's swollen to the size of like an orange. Like everything I read online, and usually when you read something online, it's like, well, you're dying of cancer, like immediately. But everything I read was like, you're fine. It's just you. It's big, it's purple, it's bruised. But I'm like,
You're wearing boxes and
nah. But you don't really need to wear them in jiu-jitsu because nobody throws fucking flying knees usually. Do you know what I mean?
no, I mean once it's an orange size. What do you wear? Are you wearing tight fitting?
I'm just wearing my boxers.
Okay.
And so I'm cool. I come to Vauxhall, go have a few beers after, cool. I wake up the next day and like, I'm just not right. I had to go do Bath Comedia. And I'm in Balham about to get the train. I had to go, obviously I go through Balham. I just have to go out to the station and just start throwing up in the street from the pain.
Really?
I can't eat anything, can't drink anything. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, do you know what? Let me get to Bath. All I've got to do is get Paddington and get to Bath. They've got a flat there. I'll stay down there and I'll just rest up. So I go down to Bath, I keep throwing up on the train, I'm throwing up with all this stuff, go do the show. And everyone's like kind of looking at me like, you going to be all right on stage? I was like, yeah, I go on, set was fine, go back, stay in Bath. And the next day I wake up, I'm like, no, I need to go to hospital, but I don't want to go to hospital in Bath. I'll go to hospital in London. So I travel all the way back to London, go down to King's College Hospital. I'm in King's College for 5 hours. They test my bloods, test my urine, and they're like, you're fine. It's not. It just seems. It's. Oh, there was words. So what? The first guy who saw me was like, oh, that's quite swollen. The second guy who sold me, this is a doctor. This was his words. He went, "Fuck, bro. Why didn't you come to us sooner?"
Oh, really?
A doctor said that to me, like a nurse said that.
No, that's not the issue. The issue is that one person's like, yeah. And then the one was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So I'm kind of. But I. Here's the thing that I've learned with the NHS. Yeah. Either people are incredible at their job, or, and I'd be like this if I worked for the NHS, just don't give a fuck.
Jaded because of
Yeah.
work and stuff.
Yeah, I know it must be, and I saw how people dealt with nurses and stuff. I totally get it. Like, so they see me after this time. This doctor comes to see me, and she goes, she has to examine my balls, and she was fit, innit? She was like mad good looking, and then I had to bring out like this giant, like just my little dick shriveled up, and then this massive fucking testicle.
Normally more in proportion.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just there like, yeah. So, how's your day going?
You didn't try and make small talk when she looking at you.
Well, she asked me what I did, and I just didn't have the ability to lie. So I went, I'm a comedian, innit? And she's like, oh, what? You're going to be at the Fringe? And I'm like, ma'am, are we going to save my testicles? Fucking, oh yeah, can we take my balls and then I'll tell you what time I'm on at the Pleasance.
I'll tell you the narrative of my show.
Yeah. So she's like, you got to come back tomorrow because we got to give you an ultrasound, but we don't do ultrasounds on Sunday because they fucking follow religion.
Sound is gone on Sunday.
Yeah. Like it's, oh no, they're all at church. They're scientists, but they're
That's a dumb rule. No ultrasounds on Sunday.
yeah.
They made that up.
Bro, if you get stabbed in
No,
Saturday.
I was in Brussels. They were like, the MasterCard doesn't work after 8. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like a credit card.
Like I'm at the hotel. I'm like, yo, can I just? They're like, yeah, MasterCard doesn't work after 8. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Do you have that with you traveling to other countries and stuff? Do you ever like get to places like the one that always throws me is Scotland after 10 p.m. You can't buy a bottle of beer to take back. If you want to go into the off license to buy some booze, you can't because they're like we're stopping the alcoholism, and you're like, that means everyone just buys the alcohol earlier. That's all that happens in Scotland. But yeah, so I go back the next day. And I was kind of reluctant to because I was like, they said I'm fine. I'm wasting the NHS's time.
They said that.
No. They were like basically like, we've got to give you the ultrasound, but you're all right.
But your sound.
Yeah. Well, I was going in like, oh, they're just going to ultrasound me, give me some painkillers, tell me to shut the fuck up, stop being a little bitch, get on with your day. That was my toxic masculinity attitude of what's going to happen. Because I've put this off for a few days as well. I go in, they ultrasound my left testicle. Again, it's a woman and this guy. I'm having a bit of a laugh with them, a bit of banter. Like,
With your balls up.
Yeah. My balls are out, but like it's fucking, like It's a funny situation. And then they start ultrasounding my right one, and the vibe in the room shifted.
Okay.
Just shifts. They're like, and they then start going like, yeah, I mean, we've got restricted blood flow to lower testy, this, that, and the other. They're saying all these Latin words because they know I don't know them for the things. And then I'm like going, well, what does that mean? And they're like, you're going to have to speak to a doctor about it. We're not qualified to tell you what it is, which is, I knew was bad.
Yeah.
So I go out of there, I'm like, for 20, 30 minutes, I'm panicking. Like, they don't see me for another 2 hours. So while that 2 hours is going on, I'm like, well, it can't be that serious. It's been 2 hours. Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, if it was serious, you'd come see me.
Right.
Like,
I hear you.
Yeah. So that
People
was
have died on hospital beds just for like 40 hours because nobody's come see them.
Yeah. But I'm special. Like, in my mind, they're not going to do that to me.
Yeah.
And so this doctor comes in, bro. This is how this guy starts a sentence with me. He's like, "You want to take a seat?" Yeah. You can lead a perfectly normal life with one testicle. I've just been playing New Star Soccer. I was not prepared.
So you have one testicle?
No.
Oh.
So
Shit.
Oh,
okay.
So
yeah.
I had what was called testicular torsion, right? Now, so what had happened, well, the guy had kneed me, ripped a bit of my ball, like inside, blood starts pouring in. That's why my ball sack had swollen, just swollen. It's just blood has pulled in. So they didn't know what was blood, what was bruising. He was like, the problem is, you've left this 3 days. So now there's a little bit of blood flow to one part of your, he was like, your left testes fine, your right testes, he's like, so he's like, we're going to have to perform an emergency surgery. Like, and I'm like, all right, when we doing that? He's like, you're up for surgery now. So we're doing the next couple of surgeries. As long as no one gets stabbed, you're in. That was basically what he said. And I was like, okay. So I'm there like, come on, South London. Let's have the peace. I want to be like Bob Marley holding all the gang leaders' hands. Like, come on, lads, let's save my balls.
For 2 hours. No one's getting shit.
No, bro. I'm there like, please, if they get stabbed, let them go Croydon Hospital, not King's College.
It's crazy. So you're fine.
Yeah. So I for 30 minutes I freaked the fuck out because they start reading. Have you ever had surgery before?
Yeah, just to remove my appendix.
Okay, so before that, did they read you everything that could go like fuck up with the surgery?
Nah.
No, okay, right.
It's in South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. They're just like, let him find out.
Oh no, I mean, it's appendix is very common.
Yeah.
It's like a very.
Yeah, everyone probably goes through it. Like most go through it at one point, but they were like to me, "You've got a low risk surgery, so like you're not gonna die or nothing like that." But they're like, "We have to read you what
Your rates.
Yeah, basically what could go wrong because they need to read you this stuff."
Like the end bit of an advert or for like pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so they're like reading me the thing, one of which was chronic scrotal pain. Bro, a doctor looked me in the eye and when there is a chance of chronic scrotal pain, and I just have to sit there. I'm going, what happens if we don't do the surgery? He's like, if we don't do the surgery, you lose the balls. He's like, that's what's happening.
Balls. Both.
He was like, there's a risk you could fuck up both.
Can you live a perfectly normal life with no balls?
Bro, I was full on ready to transition. I was full on ready.
You know, okay, I'm on another zone. You tell stories like my mom. You have so much detail where I'm like, get to the fucking juicy bit, bro. And the juicy bit, like, my mom gets so annoyed because she tells all these stories when we're having dinner and stuff, and then she just goes, it was 12 o'clock, I don't give a fuck. What happened?
I'm building the suspense. It's like Goodfellas. I start in the middle, I come back to the beginning.
No. It's not good or bad. It's just for me, I'm just like, fucking get to it.
So basically, I wake up from the surgery, and I've just been out, And I'm asking the nurse what the fuck's happened to me because I'm like, and she's like, the operation was a success, cool.
We've removed both balls.
So I wake up the next morning and they're like, the doctors have to come see you before you leave. And the surgeon comes in, God bless him. He was like, we managed to save the testicle, but we had to take a little chunk of it out. He's like, it's all fine. It's not going to affect you. But he's like, basically, when I'd been hit from the impact, part of my testy ripped and the blood started pouring in. And he was just like, I don't know how you were fucking walking around. Like, and I was just like,
You did Bath Comedian, man.
I did Bath Comedian. I was just like, the people
cancelled
of
gigs
Bath
less than
need
that, man.
laughs.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on your tolerance of pain. Like I've snapped like a right ankle.
Yeah.
I just continued 2 days and just been like, it'll be fine.
Is that a men not going to the doctor thing? though?
Yeah, do you think that's a masculinity thing?
Of course, man. It's like you want to fuck.
I just don't want to wait
toughen out.
though. It's not even masculine. I just want to wait in a GP office. I'd rather just die.
It's not even that, man. You just like, this shit will be fun because like when I play football, people kick the shit out of you. And some of the pain is so crazy and you're like, whatever. And then you get home and shit is fine. So you have a reference to a pain disappearing.
Yeah,
But
Some
that's
people
like
don't
more fear of like, oh shit, this could actually be something rather than masculinity, I think sometimes. I'm like, I don't actually want to get this checked out and then it's like, I'm in trouble.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I should have.
Yeah, I get that. But I remember when I was young, my mom used to go get everything checked out.
Yeah.
Like I'd see, she'd be like, yo, get that. And I'm like, dog, it's just a fun. But what the thing is when you're like, if you play sports at any level that's almost like mildly professional, you know how to listen to your body. You know what I mean? Like some people don't know what muscle pain and like a knock.
Feeling a twinge or something.
They don't know. They're just like a pain is a pain is a pain. And some like for me, I can tell. Like
Right.
I can tell like immediately. Even when I snapped this, it wasn't the fact that I didn't care for the pain. I was like, it will go away and it will start healing. And so all I needed was anti-inflammatories. Or it was fine, but it wasn't as hectic as I.
I find that because I've just started learning about like my body because I was weight cutting.
You were kicked in the balls.
because I was kicked. Yeah,
I'm gonna kick you in the balls. A lot of things.
Your body was talking to you.
Well, I
very
didn't
intentionally.
think it was gonna fucking be a hospital job. I thought
Yeah, that's
you
pretty
get hit in the balls, but when it was still hurting 10 minutes after, I was like, nah, this ain't right. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just a swelling.
I don't think I would have left it 3 days. That's a bit crazy.
I left it 2,
And like,
and they just didn't do anything on
what
Sunday.
size was it?
Oh, bro,
by the
like
time
it
you
was
went?
like that drooping down. It was like this can. Like I did
Listen,
droop.
man. If you want me to look at you as a normal human being going forward, don't
use
have
a Pepsi
don't
can.
don't have like a direct reference. Say a number and then my brain takes
Oh,
it to the
I've got
number
direct
as
visual
opposed to
reference.
like, you see this fucking microphone?
Your testicle was shaped like a Pepsi
No,
can.
no. I was saying like the droop on it. Like it was
Don't
the
say the
droop.
truth. Don't say the truth.
Right.
What is
I'm descriptive.
The man used the word droop.
the
But
droop of
I'm
your
not.
balls?
I'm not the
What was the
doctor.
firmness like? What sort of fruit? Are we talking like a plum
Speaking
or
to
like
me like
a,
I don't have the. Bro,
Like a
I don't
bad
have the
peach?
medical.
was it
I
like
don't
an avocado once it's gone a bit too ripe?
I went to the A&E person. My plums. Look, I wasn't the fucking guy.
Elliot is being weird about it because I was like, "Can you send me a picture of your balls?" So I don't want to say. I was like, "This is a once in a lifetime. I want to see your balls," and he's acting weird about it.
No, you being fucking
Wait, hold on a minute.
You being fucking
Hold
weird.
on a minute.
What
He
do you mean,
says his
hold on a
balls
minute?
were purple.
Person
and
says
shaped like a Pepsi can, and I don't want to see that. Of course, I want to see that
What the fuck you want to see that for?
because I've never seen.
Because I've never
balls,
seen a ball shaped like a Pepsi can before.
and I'm not gonna Google
And I'm
it.
slightly curious.
Whoa. There's a lot of things I've never
We're
seen.
in Vauxhall, baby.
that I remain never seeing. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah, but I've not had a natural curiosity until I knew somebody who's happened to, and I kind of I want to know.
Should we bring some up online? We can
I'll tell you something. I have a very low curiosity level. Like I don't give a fuck most of the time. Like I like if you think of poop,
Yeah.
I go, what the fuck happens in the tummy that
Create
My-
from here to here.
Yeah.
yeah, but why does it come out as poop? I have zero interest.
Well,
And
now
so-
I have a massive.
Well, you just brought it up. Now I'm want to know.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't give a fuck. It's like
You've always wondered, but you're just never going to search it up. Like you're just like, yeah, that just exists.
it just exists,
Yeah.
the thing. And so that's the human That's the human want that is destructive.
What,
You know what I mean?
curiosity?
Yeah,
Knowledge.
because when we go, why are we going to Mars? We're trying to find out. Why the fuck are we deep sea diving? You know what I mean? It's like, who gives a fuck? Like,
Yeah, but
leave that shit
I
alone.
think
I don't give a fuck about that.
I
Like,
get where you come from, but I think you need people who think with your logic, and I think you need people who think with the logic of I need to find out what's going on in the bottom of the sea. And
why the fuck you need to know what's going on at the bottom of the sea?
If what happens to Elliot Sports happened to me, I post that in a group without anyone asking. I just throw that in there.
You see, but that's why.
Just
Yeah,
so
but you
they can now.
you should be
their
banned,
knowledge has been expanded.
bro. You're gonna get me too.
Okay. Give me 5 other examples where you're trying to expand people's knowledge.
Okay,
Not testicle related.
not testicle related. This podcast.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You don't give a fuck about people's knowledge. Fuck up. You just want to see his fucking testicles.
No, I want to see his testicles. So if it ever happens to me, I'm like, oh, this is bad. I might
not
do
bad.
some shit.
I want Loyiso to be. I want him to be a prosecutor. You know, imagine him on the stand with
Listen.
someone.
What happened to him is highly anomalous.
Human
Oh, I feel
civilization.
very privileged to be in that.
I look at your Instagram and your comedy. You're one of the most curious, introspective comedians out there. I disbelieve
No,
that you have a low curiosity level.
My curiosity is I'm curious about, I don't know, like maybe science in that sense.
This is science.
This is
This is biology.
I don't know, man. I don't
It's
give a
unprecedented.
I don't want to discover shit. It's like whatever.
This sounds like you're done now, but you weren't always done.
I don't know. I mean, I really need to think about that and articulate it. But I think that I'm not, my curiosity is diminished as time. I'm just like, I don't care, because for me to care or want to know requires a little bit of my bandwidth.
Right.
And sometimes I'm like, I don't
But what do you want to use that on? Your current bandwidth?
I don't
At this
know,
point.
man. Like, definitely not on fucking testicles.
I can see that. I can see how
Yeah,
that may
just-
be a
It's like-
misallocation
But
of.
there's
of
a
the fun.
testicle doctor out there who needs to know.
He's not in the room.
And now I would have that.
And
picture
he's in
my-
our group chat, is he?
I
No.
could show that to my younger cousin.
Why are you committing a crime?
I fucking hate your quest right now.
I show his balls to my 10-year-old cousin.
It just stands for everything you're against, for everything you're for.
I could change my 10-year-old cousin's life by showing
Well,
him
yeah,
his
you could
balls.
say, because his cousin would be in jail for showing him pictures of deformed testicles, you weird cunt.
Nah.
I could put him on like, oh, now I need to know about the quest for testicles and balls, and I'm going to further that science. That's how curiosity started. We all became comedians because we saw something.
Yeah, I understand that. Sometimes, I mean, there is a general human curiosity that pertains to my life, but I don't go the extra mile sometimes.
So, like, a lot of crazy shit that's happening in the news right now, you just like, yeah, I'm not with it.
That's got nothing to do with me.
Do you find that attitude's like quite helpful? Because sometimes I want to come off. I sometimes think, say, I need to use social media because of this job, and I do enjoy social media. And I
You could just
strip
post
myself
and go
more.
though, like you.
I could.
Yeah, but think about it this way. If you were living in Tanzania in the 1500s, you have no fucking idea what's happening around you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The information doesn't move that quickly. Information does move, but it's not that kind of information. You don't know if there's a war. Like now, if something happens in New York, you know about it immediately.
Yeah.
Something happens in Tibet, you know about it immediately. Something happens in Egypt, you know about it immediately. But that happens the whole day, the whole year.
It's like Andrew Mensch was saying.
How fucking healthy is that for you?
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
so
And
that's
it-
what I'm saying. Sometimes I just go, that's got nothing to do with it.
Like Andrew Mensch was saying when he was on here, like sometimes he'd be on Instagram, he sees bad bitches from Australia. And it's like, I didn't need to know she existed.
Yeah.
'Cause now I want her. And like, but she's in Australia.
Yeah, but
I kind of get that.
no, I do. It's that thing as well because I sometimes
I like good bitches.
I like local bitches.
I like. Would you like a cup of tea? Yeah, thank you. You leave your phone out; they don't go through it. Well, yeah, I agree. I think social media is designed in that way. You know, like everything that's on it at the moment, because I'm fucking obsessed with TikTok. like, and I know all about this Andrew Tate stuff. I know all about these things, and I'm like, my dad doesn't have a clue what any of this stuff is.
Yeah.
And he's way better off for it.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to know what's going on.
Them generation, they had the newspaper and the radio. They're their own version.
Yeah, but it's kind of, you can just not open it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's ignorance is bliss in a certain way.
That's why I find like
the same choice.
Like I was thinking, like you know, you'll see like I find with social media as well. There's a phoniness where like I'm with you on this. I can't care about every issue. So if you come out with some story where it's like, have you seen what has happened to this child today who lives here and this, that, and the other? I'm like, why the fuck do I need to know that? I don't care. Like I'm just trying to get from A to B.
I'll share a story. I'll be like, oh, you guys look at this, and then that's gonna be good.
Sometimes I retweet like a cause and be like, people will look at that and think, good for you, Elliot. Yeah. that's all my work is.
Yeah, I tried not to of late actually. I just tweet about about shows and sports.
Yeah.
That's a good life.
I don't get involved. Like I don't.
Do you find the sports world can be the most toxic of it all, though?
No.
Politics gets into sports more than ever now, though. You know.
Explain.
I wasn't expecting you to ask me to.
after his cross-examination about your ball fetish.
Taking a knee, all shit like that. You know, there's always politics, like doping, trans. You know, they find a way to put politics.
I mean, it depends how you define politics. I mean, politics is everything, right? I mean, that's the general idea. Politics is everything. So our ability, how much this cord takes and how much this mic costs is all determined by politics.
I mean, politics is definitely involved in sport. I mean, look what happened.
No,
to
but
Chelsea.
politics is involved in everything as well.
Yeah. No,
so you can't say in sport, it's involved in your food, in your water, in how things move.
But when you boil it down to what the sport is, it should just be these 12 people or 11 people versus this 11 people.
What other context is that?
Yeah.
Where what other context is goes, this happens and the people who run this thing are not involved.
It's like a vacuum, yeah. It's nothing.
It doesn't work it's definitely, you know what I mean? It's
the beauty of sport as well is sometimes politics of it. Like if you look at if you just stood Muhammad Ali up and just went, here's his boxing record, it's not as incredible as when you look at like the politics around him and the people that were against him, and that's why he's remembered for what he is, as well as it just being like he was a good boxer.
I was watching like old Ali interviews, man. You know, he never like stuttered. He never like and ahed. He was always like just very clear, and like that was a cool aspect.
Later life he did.
As a comic.
There was some slurring. There was some slurring of the speech. But I'm talking about
when I was starting out. I think I was doing stand up for 2 years, and I used to do this joke about being in a plane and there was turbulence, and I was like, "Who the fuck's the pilot, Ali?" And that was like. And then, you know, it was just like every time I look at those jokes of like back then, I go, fuck, and I would never do that. I'm not.
From your own personal conscience?
No, not necessarily. It's just like, remember, as you grow as a stand-up, you inherit a bunch of stuff. Like you go, okay, cool, I'm going to include a lot of my feeling into this. Or whatever your decision-making is.
Have you become more empathetic as you've gotten older, and has that impacted your work? I feel like when you're young and you're telling jokes, you're just like, yeah, if I'm gonna be, say whatever.
Anything now.
Yeah.
I'm almost the reverse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird because I'm like, I actually don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Less. Like, I mean, I actually don't give a fuck more because I think like, I think my thinking is like intrinsically human beings figure shit out.
Yeah.
And I think and so if you don't give it time frames, it doesn't matter what the fucking situation is, you'll figure it out. And so my brain always goes, you'll be fine.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not like from a hateful place. I still sympathize with you, but deep inside I go, you'll be all right. It's crazy, and so even when comics are like, yo, I had a comic like jump on with me on a bus once and he just sat with me and he was picking my brain, and I purposefully discouraged him. And
I would love to see you work for the Samaritans, bro. Like,
No, because I was like,
no, if I was you, I'd jump as
in my
well.
brain, I'm like,
nah, that's fucked up. Yeah,
I could tell you never give up, or I could go, fuck you, don't do this thing, and if that stops you, then that's fine.
Yeah, I.
Because now you can be
you were
his hater.
testing him.
I wasn't testing him. I was
So,
like,
you were discouraging him from doing comedy,
I
or
said, don't do this shit. It's rough. I've been doing this for this much, this. I just painted this gloomy picture, and I said, fuck this shit. You skilled, you at this thing. You can do this thing. Go fucking do this thing. And I didn't like in my approach was like, so if what should I do? And I'm like, fucking quit. You shit. How was my set? It's shit.
I can't figure you out.
And it's not. I swear, like, and then I go
what's your balls like?
because I'm like,
Yeah.
how badly do you want this thing?
Yeah. So yeah, but is that not a test? Is that like okay?
It is a test in some
were
way,
you
but
just
I'm
being-
just like, it's a different approach.
How would you have responded to that own pep talk? His age. Not even a pep talk. It's the opposite of a pep talk.
It's the reality.
I would have just been like, whatever. I would have. I mean, I don't. If he was on the other end, I probably would have never stopped
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I've experienced things or heard people telling me to stop or like. So, then I was just like, you crazy.
Do you know if he's still going?
I couldn't give a fuck.
I love that every story, like every
don't
story
give a
with you is
fuck.
going to be like this film moment, and then you're like, I never tried to, I never figured out anything. But that point,
think about it. I don't know if it was a test because it is rough. It is tricky. It is. It's like
Yeah.
you're just being brutally honest.
In a way, it's irresponsible
yeah.
to tell him to keep going.
Well,
It's highly irresponsible to keep him going. It's brutal. I've been doing stand-up since I was 17. I'm turning 40 in 7 months. Now, no, 8 months. But I go, bro, do you understand, like, how much shit you just gotta plow through? And so sometimes I get, like, people who do so many things, and they go, I'm a writer, I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I go, I get you, but you're not gonna be better at this one thing than someone who does it all the time.
Yeah.
So you can write and do and then do stand up, but I can guarantee you're not gonna do stand up better than the guy who.
I
does
don't even
stand-up.
do my one thing that well to start adding others on
What
it.
stand up?
Yeah,
You don't
man.
think you do stand up well?
he's joking.
I
Mike
just-
thinks very highly of himself.
Hold on. This is interesting.
I have a high ego.
Go
But
ahead.
it doesn't
How
match-
old are you?
27.
Get the fuck out of here.
You could have said that. I could have said 39. You would have said
Now, how long have you been doing stand up?
maybe 8-9 years.
Yeah, yo, you so close to your voice.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
It's a different.
If I just stopped cancelling gigs, man, I'd
no,
Well, Mike messaged me. We're doing Reading and Leeds.
dude, when I was 27, I was also just like, yeah.
Did you? But what you were saying earlier about that thing of when you first had that joke when you'd been going for 2 years, and then you sort of look back at your set and like cringe a little bit or be like, "What the fuck was I doing?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, but that is also part of that. I think with stand up, that thing where I would never want to look back at some of my stuff from 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, but
and go, "Wow, that was amazing."
you know what stopped me from thinking that? Someone said to me, perfection is the death of progress.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Stop trying to be perfect. Just do the thing.
I also think if you just look back at your life, what you were doing
Yeah.
at that age,
You should
I
be cringe. You should
And
be
you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh God, what was I doing that for? Why was I
That's
saying
growth, no?
And you sometimes as well, it's weird, like because I'm like in a similar position to Mike, like we both started around about the same age.
Are you same age?
I just turned 26, so I started when I was 16.
If you told me you guys were 26, I would never come to this podcast. I would have never been here. I'm like, I'm
So you
talking
didn't
to
get this from the
26.
bull chat.
But you already started on low respect.
I have no respect for you guys.
You started here, and then we've just gone lower.
I couldn't give a fuck.
We started on this day already.
I've never met a guest that I've been so sure is not going to retweet the episode.
Like, fuck you people. What the fuck you?
Now you know I want bull pictures, man.
No, I just think in your 20s you're a bit hard on yourself, but if you're hard on yourself, sometimes I think you're missing an opportunity to expound on yourself in the sense like you because you're acting on a reference, like, so you have a reference to what you want, and what you want sometimes is not going to exist. Like what I wanted in stand-up doesn't exist per se. Do you know what I mean? Like when I started doing stand-up, to get on Letterman was a big thing.
Right.
And so if you got on Letterman, and that would lead you to the next thing, and go, you know.
He's almost dead now, you know, so.
Whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, the shit is going to change, whatever you're. So you have to kind of flow with it and get a.
So when you were 27, were you hard on yourself?
Extremely.
Okay, so then do you not look at it in a way like almost like a butterfly effect? Would I not be the man I am now if I wasn't hard on myself? If I'd been softer on myself, would I maybe I'd be? I know you probably don't look at it as a journey like that, but would I be behind or would I be?
I don't think you're behind. I think you're fine. You know, I think like. I've always thought of you as a person who applies themselves, and I've had many conversations with you about just stand up, and you just seem like a human being who applies himself, and for me that's enough. If you, and the thing about the thing that's crazy is that if you put a destination on your GPS, and then the thing goes, we're going there. And that's what goals are, right? And sometimes the GPS is like, oh, we're going to go to Shrewsbury first.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck are we doing in Shrewsbury? And so that's what your 20s are. You're like, yo, I want to go to this place.
Yeah.
And then, why are we in this? And so you're going to get there. It's like for me.
You want, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so when so for me, this is a very recent thing. I had to like double back and go, dog, you got a Netflix special, calm your tits.
Right. Okay.
Right? Because I was like, no, you got a Netflix special, like a Netflix commission, not a license, Netflix came to you and said, yo, let's do this thing. The goal of being on Letterman is from 1999.
Yeah.
So the shit, that's the thing, that's the shift. You gotta go, oh no. If you ask 90% of comics right now, what do you want? They'll go, I want a Netflix special. And if you have a Netflix special, that's the fucking goal.
Yeah.
10 years time though.
So 10 years time, the goal is gonna be different.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So for me, it's being afloat in those realms.
Did you ever? I find at my age, like, because again we're at like this similar. Me and Mike are in this similar position where
Age-wise, yeah.
age-wise.
No. Your balls are swollen. My balls are two different positions.
I mean,
So they're back to normal now. Like,
but in that sense of like, because my dad's a comedian, so I always had for my first few years.
Whoa. You unjust. My dad's a comedian and just dribble past that.
No,
You moaned at me for not giving all the details, for giving too many details and stories earlier. I'm trying to edit for you, bro. I'm trying to get to the point.
We've addressed his nepotism. He's a special case because he actually fumbled the nepotism.
Yeah, I fucked it up.
He's in a shipping container doing a podcast. I mean, he's fumbled the nepotism badly.
Bro,
like.
I should be on one of those cushy writing jobs. You know, one of those people who turns up to Edinburgh, calls himself a comedian for 3 weeks, and then you never see him again. I could have been one of them if I really.
His white privilege is revoked because he just really didn't capitalize.
Okay,
So
continue your story. I got a question.
go ahead. Ask the question.
Why didn't you guys do Edinburgh this year?
Cost for one of the main things, and in terms of seeing myself as a business, I was very honest with myself and said, if I was a CEO, would I put the amount of money that it costs to do this? Never mind making the show and all of that. I can do that. I believe in my ability to do that, and I can do that. Yeah. Would I go and do this thing for a return that potentially does not happen because you can come back from Edinburgh and everyone's like, that was fantastic. See you next year.
You really have been watching Andrew Tate. Me as a business,
bro,
the CEO.
I'm gonna start
of
smoking
Elliot.
cigars.
Nah,
And then I was like, what I want to focus on, why don't I try put my work in elsewhere, still continue the work rate as if you're doing Edinburgh, doing my gigs and stuff, do the podcast, do my social media, work on my set, work on jokes, put things in that's working on jokes, but let it be ready when it's ready, not because there's a deadline. I'm working to a deadline that's been set by somebody else and I've bought into the deadline. I've come into the industry and they've told me there's a deadline. There isn't. This is my job. I'm self-employed. I'm the boss of my company. when I think of jokes and I want to have an hour that's ready to take up there, I'll take it up there when I want to take it up there. That was kind of my logic.
Okay. Would you have that attitude if you were selling out?
No, I'd go up there.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's all relative.
It doesn't make sense to him.
But-
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like, so what I'm saying is that like everyone's got their own reason why they go there.
Yeah,
or not go to Edinburgh.
I'll go up there when I can not just sell out a show, also take a show. I don't mind going up. If I went up there and sold out a run and then next year wasn't able to get to what I think is the standard of a show together, I wouldn't take it up there out of respect to myself of like, I don't want to have and the audience and like, I don't want to have a bad...
This is some fucking 27-year-old shit. You shouldn't have told me your age.
I think that's quite
ruins
mature.
everything. No.
I try and refrain from saying the Edinburgh Fringe is shit, but it's shit for me right now. It's shit for me right now.
The Edinburgh Fringe is not shit.
I love it.
Okay. Let me tell you. Like, the only reason I think the Edinburgh Fringe is the best shit ever is because where else are you going to get 28 dates of fucking grinding your shit? The Edinburgh Fringe... The only thing I hate about the Edinburgh Fringe is this new show idea. I don't think that should be a rule. I think that some people should bring back their show as many times as they want it until it's good. I think the opportunity that's available, if you're really clever, you go, what's available at Edinburgh Fringe is this idea that I can practice this thing 27 fucking time
In a row.
for what? I don't know. I'm going to tape it for Netflix. I'm going to tape it for this. But the thing that's a fuck up for me is like, people are like, yeah, I got a new show. I'm like, I saw your show. It was half baked. It wasn't like the complete thing. So then the culture of having these turnaround times, you're like, no. Finish the show. It's not for Edinburgh. It's for the world.
Okay, I agree with you.
But Louis C.K. have ruined us, man. I think like from 2005,
you can't
2012.
compare yourself to him all the time.
That's the thing. He's just doing a new hour every year, and I think that everyone's just like, "Oh shit, he's supposed to do a new
There's
hour
a
every year."
rhythm he found. I remember there was this club in Chelsea. It was on Monday in New York. It was called, I forgot what it was called. It was in Chelsea on Monday. It actually started at midnight. I remember seeing Louis there, and we were chilling backstage. Doesn't talk to anyone. Walks up, does a thing, kills. Cut to like 6 months later, I see it on his show. Go to New York again. I see him at like this place called Knitting Factory. Cut to like 3 months later, it's in his special. I know the feeling, but I feel like Louis found a rhythm. Like
He's an outlier.
Yeah, you could get that, but for the most part, your reference of Louis is crazy. It's an anomaly. I remember seeing some of the material, and I remember just going, "Fuck me, some of that shit is good." And I remember if I was in New York for like, let's say, I don't know, a month, I would see Louis maybe like 6-7 times doing some shit, and then I'd see it in different places. I'll see it on him on a couch with Letterman, whatever the fuck it is, and I'll see it, and then I'll go, "Oh my days." But when I looked around, that was anomalous.
Yeah.
I still have to look around. It's like you can't go. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like you can't go like you live in a certain part of South London where people listen to reggae. You can't go, yeah, no, everyone listens to reggae.
But it's just natural for the number one person to dictate what everyone else is then going to think should be the norm. Like everyone watching Jordan.
I love how people sometimes, they love dictators for specific things and they hate them for country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
But I
It's an anomaly. Enjoy it. Don't compare yourself to it. Don't fucking get involved in it. Just be like, yo, that shit is amazing.
Yeah.
But on average, a good special takes 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah. Everyone wants to be special though. Everyone sees that. Like,
yeah. and-
Well, I mean,
That's
that's a wrong approach to life, I think. And I'm only talking with this much confidence. And I don't know if you noticed, my tone has changed. I found out that you motherfuckers still have this. I do have this
Bro, I wonder what this guy on the bus got because he seems fond of us.
I think like I'm actually proud that we held it because you didn't know for a while.
No. It's not about that. It's I'm taking the piss. I'm really just like because I'm aware of your age now. I'm also like placing myself where I thought.
Do you see it?
Think about Louis. When did Louis pop off?
Mid-30s, 40s.
Early 40s.
Yeah.
Think about you and your what I'm talking about is Louis 6-7 years ago. You were 21 or 20.
Yeah.
So you comparing yourself at 21 to a fucking guy who's 42 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was also comparing myself to Eddie Murphy. He had his second.
Mike went to
really
free
bad.
boxing lessons and was like, no, I'm like Fury. Like, I know my
I think I found my problem. I think
He's an all or nothing, but you're an all or nothing guy, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But do you see in us that thing, like, because I find it interesting speaking to people in stand up who started at the age of teenager, where they go through. Because I look back at I meet people who are 21 now who started when they're 17, and even though I'm only 26, I go like, oh, you're going through that bit.
Yeah.
You're going through that bit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I remember that. It's like there isn't a correct path, but they're almost, you experience the same thing all the way through it.
Tell them nothing because I'm like, there's nothing I can say because you just got to go through it.
I do. I explain it.
You hear me?
Right.
That's why when I tell a fucking guy like,
But you actively gave him negative advice. I'm like, gave him nothing.
Yeah, but you're still going, he gonna see it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I'm telling you, like, leave this thing alone.
Right, yeah.
Bro, leave it. You have to fight through me to get to me.
Right, okay. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like, yo, it's rough. This shit is rough.
Yeah, I always think to people, like, you can come on and like say the good bits. Like, there's been so many nights at a bus station. It's raining. I'm hungry. I haven't got money for the fucking vending machine. All I've got is this bus
Thank
ticket.
God no one's kicked your fucking balls. Everything's
Bro, and do you know what though? This is the one thing I've liked about being kicked in the balls. Yeah, this is this mad epiphany that I've had. Right, I'm going back to jiu-jitsu. I don't give a fuck. Like the same with the stand-up thing. You go through it regardless of what it is.
With a
'cause you
cup
do it.
this time, though.
Yeah, with a cup, a nice one. I've ordered a
cup?
40 quid
Really?
one. A 40 quid one.
Have you ordered a cup?
Yeah.
You should.
I
don't know.
Hit me in the balls
What do you mean
once.
you don't know?
Shame on
Of
you.
course,
Hit
you
me in the
don't hear the
balls.
story.
But it's almost philosophical.
No, I get it. I
It's
get it.
philosophical
I mean,
because there's life post kicking the balls and life pre kicking the balls.
Yeah. And
yeah, but you did say it's it's highly unlikely that.
yeah, but do you know what I've learned mainly? Don't train with new people. A mate of mine who's quite good messaged me, and like he was like, "You're at this point now where you can't train the same way you, as in a stand-up with the experience you've got, can't hang out with the open spot on the bus and talk about the same things in stand-up." Do you see where you're like quit? It's kind of like that. Like imagine in terms of like wrestling or jiu-jitsu or any sport. When you play with someone new, you're more likely to get injured because they don't know what they're
Would
doing.
you say it's the same as like would you ever write with a newbie?
Yeah.
What would you gain from that?
I just wrote with newbies.
But like, how new were they?
Like they just, because it's not about necessarily the...
You're so complex. It's like,
You never give me the answer. I thought I
conflicting.
was-
No. I had like a room of, and some of the people had never been in writers' rooms, and some people were very new. And when I was because you want what's in their mind.
Yeah.
So the stage is a very different thing. They'll get to their voice on stage, but they have these ideas how they think. So like, would you write with a 14-year-old? Of course. You just sit in the room and just have a conversation and transcript it and head towards a specific direction. But it's such a...
Because anyone can give you knowledge, like, younger, older, everyone's got something. you can learn.
Yeah. So you can write with them, but I mean, it's the experience of how to move forward that's like different, and their experience to move forward can also just be like, wow. I remember watching Bo Burnham going, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And I thought this was the most amazing shit I'd ever seen in my life. I just thought it was amazing as an act, and it was so weird. I was in Edinburgh. The first time I saw Bo Burnham was in Edinburgh, and I was with someone, and we were rolling, and they were a reviewer. And I was with them the whole time. They laughed the whole fucking time. They loved the show when I spoke to them. When they wrote the review, they said, meh. That's the first time I was like, I get this thing.
This game.
I have to figure out what this thing means to me because it means a lot of things to many people.
You see Tanya Moore, she got a review from The Guardian.
She was just
and
being funny.
The headline of the review is being funny enough for a comedy show.
It's a fair question, though.
You
It's not a
reckon?
crazy. Yeah,
I get where he's
remember-
coming from. I know that's sacrilegious and Tanya's great, but like if you go and watch someone for an hour, I love Tim Dillon. I watched Tim Dillon's new special and I was like, there was no structure to it. I was like, I didn't know where it was going. I didn't have this. I was just watching someone do that for 20 minutes is fine to hold me. I've not seen Tanya's show. I think Tanya's fantastic. But if you go, I've come to an Edinburgh Fringe show and I expect it, I as an audience member, I just expect this. And you didn't.
Why are you going in with expectations?
I'll tell you what.
People do.
Fuck. Maybe Hassan was gonna kill me for this, but
He's not listening.
When's this coming out?
Coming out Thursday. Hassan Minaj?
Yeah.
He's not gonna listen to this.
No. He sent me because his special's not out. They haven't even announced. Oh fuck no. No, but he sent it to me.
Yeah.
He sent it to me to watch and be like, yo, what do you think? Give me some notes. It was fucking insane. And I was watching Gerard Carmichael's special.
Oh shit,
HBO.
yeah. Nathaniel.
So specials are moving away from the idea of just I'm gonna tell jokes for an hour. And it's not a crazy question to be like, oh, you're just gonna tell me jokes for an hour?
Yeah.
Edinburgh's always been you can argue Edinburgh's always been at the forefront of that concept.
Yeah, I know. So the question is still valid. I know Tanya, she's fucking hilarious.
But then they phrased it I feel like they phrased it in a weird way.
They might put it in a cunty way, but like I remember when I
Hey! You don't use cunt around
Your
me.
mom's gonna listen to this earlier. Come on.
like I remember when I saw Daniel Sauce's show X, which was fucking hilarious. It was amazing, but there was a through line all the way through it. There was things in it that you go, oh, this wasn't just watching someone be funny for an hour. This was watching someone really put a lot more into a show
Yeah.
than I'm just writing jokes.
But I feel like the game is rigged because there's middle class comic. I don't want to name names, but they'll have.
do it, bro.
I
Okay.
just name names.
Let's
Okay,
do it,
I'll
bro.
name names. Very good comic. Like for example, I've not seen the show. Glenn Moore, for example.
Yeah.
Ivor Graham. Like just very funny people, funny for an hour, and the show will be written. Oh, this is just a refreshing, funny for an hour show. Not really talking about anything.
I got you.
And they'll give him 4 or 5 stars.
This is a black person thing. Like black people are always expected to say something,
Right.
and it's like sometimes black.
You
people
might
just
know,
wanna be
like
funny.
the guy is Chris Red.
I know Chris Red.
Right. So he got a review from The Guardian. It was 3 stars. And it was just like, yo, this is a really funny show. But
I
what
went to
was
see that show at
Soho, innit?
Yeah, I
And
went
they
to
were
see
like,
that
the
show.
guy really, so funny for an hour, but what was the point? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
said what the point
I
was.
know exactly what you mean. So white acts are allowed to be free about the thing. If you're a black act, you gotta say something. As a white act, you could just
Well, I agree. No.
no. I mean, it's something I've experienced.
Right, okay.
But it doesn't affect me because I always have some shit to say. So, but there's a lot of black acts who just were like, yo, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, and they
It's
don't-
like the people in hip hop, and you see in the comments like, "Oh, love this, no nudity, no violence,
Yeah,
like
it's
just
like
like
some-
this is just real hip hop." Like, shut the fuck up. Man.
All hip hop.
Yeah, like what you talking about, man?
I
I
think
love Chris Reds, by the way. He's funny as fuck.
Funny man.
It's so crazy. I was in Austin and we're doing Moonlight. I think it was 2019, and I was on my show starting at 8:30. Dave Spade was at 8. So I told my set people, I said, listen, I'm gonna go watch Dave Spade, and I'll come like 5 minutes before I start. Don't panic, I'm around. And I thought I was gonna watch 30 minutes of Dave Spade. And then Chris Reds comes on as an opening act. That was 20. I was so mad, man. And then, because Dave Spade did like 10, and then I had to go.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, I like Chris Reds.
Yeah.
I had seen that material from when he was in London, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh! I almost was late for my show because I wanted to see Dave Spade. There's a light there somewhere.
Yeah. I'll wrap up.
Hey, wrap it up.
Got a very inconspicuous light.
Yeah, I don't know. I just view it as like I'm on this little journey that I'm on, and I get to where I get to. And sometimes the things that I want now, I'm probably not ready for. Especially like,
Oh, that's
Did you just try to sum up the podcast?
that is
my job.
That is the craziest realization. and you're gonna realize it
Time again.
because that realization doesn't land once.
What do you mean?
It's like there's many things that you want that you don't know you're not ready for.
Yeah.
And so when they, like, sometimes I'm in the middle of things, I go, fuck, I wished for this like 3 years ago. And when I wanted it to happen, it didn't happen. But I'm in it now.
You don't realise it because that's the thing with comedy. Nobody goes,
Crazy.
you got the promotion. Here's the thing. Like, I
Yeah.
used to have that with getting on the circuit, playing the clubs, doing all the clubs. And I was like, a while ago, my diary's full. I'm off everywhere. And I was on a train going to a club I've wanted to play for ages. Like, I fucking just want my Saturday, man.
Yeah.
Because you got to take the responsibility of the thing.
But
So ungrateful.
the biggest thing that you have to realize, the biggest reward from doing stand-up is that you get to do stand-up.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that's it, man. And stand-up has a lot of rewards, and some of them are very tangible, and some of them are like all over the place, and some of them are like it's like 2 p.m. on a fucking Tuesday, and we're just talking shit. Like,
Yeah.
we're having pints and talking shit, and not many people.
I realize that when I try and like schedule things with my regular friends, I'm like, oh, they have to book things 3 weeks in advance.
No, forget that.
Yeah, your regular friends are dead, bro.
I'm like, oh, I'm just free.
And on Saturday, can we link up Saturday at 7? No.
Yeah.
That's a horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, did you ever get that thing? I had a mate who was like,
Bro, the man said.
oh, sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We're talking about scheduling. I'm like, I've got to schedule another pod in.
Go ahead. I'm not.
No, I was going to say that thing where a mate was like, oh, my birthday thing's on this weekend. And I'm like, I've got to go here. And he was like, can't you just cancel it? And I'm like, do you know the amount of people that will be furious at me? Like,
That's the difference because I just
Mike would be like, no, I'll cancel.
Hey, man, this has been. Wait, Lisa, you got anything to promote before we
Promote?
Yeah, man.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I promote nothing. Promote my house and my couch.
I respect that, man.
That's the best philosophy we've had on this
I
podcast.
like that,
For
man.
Thursday.
Well, then I feel silly promoting anything either.
We've got Top Secret September 12th. Me and Mike are both doing half hour of new stuff. We're looking forward
Horrible
to it.
shit. Don't come there.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I got my Amazon special, Black Bears Matter. That's still available to watch.
And we're on
Trying to get the
Patreon.
viewing figures into multiple
Who the
digits.
fuck wants to listen to 2 mid-20-year-olds except rappers? Like,
boomer.
the only people in their mid-20s that I want to listen to are rappers.
Well, I'll be doing a bit of rap during the show.
Did that help you come to the show?
Make
No.
the show even worse.
Can you look at the camera and say, I'm going to be rapping?
I will be doing some hip hop. It will be
Ragga Rap. He's gonna do a one-man show about his balls.
It's gonna be clean, just what rap should be back in the day. We're on Patreon, we're on Instagram. Thank you for coming in, man, and doing this and like.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll never have you back out of your decision rather than us.
Dude, I'm always like free to. So come in. talk
Change
shit.
this tune. I love the idea you just start turning up.
Tell your attitude.
I'll be here next week.
It's been Big Tech Philosophers, man. See you guys in a bit.